Welcome, everybody, to the Town Commission of Ocean Ridge meeting in August. Kelly? Oh, we're on video today. So this is a breakthrough day in Ocean Ridge. It's not pointed at you, Terry. It's pointed from there this way. All right. So if you're gonna say something, you have to turn all the way around. By the way, is that new this month? Yeah, we had that last meeting. You don't remember it? Oh, they didn't. We got it last. That's what they said. All right, Kelly, would you call a roll, please?
Commissioner Ayala?
Here.
Commissioner Hudson?
Here.
Commissioner Cassidy? Here. Vice Mayor Cox?
Here.
And Mayor Pugh?
Here. All right, we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to your flag, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so commissioners, you see the agenda before you. Are there any additions, deletions, or modifications to the agenda?
I'd like to add a commission discussion at the end of the meeting.
All right. I'd like to add one too. I'll be after you, Steve.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Chief needs to add an announcement at the end of announcements.
Sorry?
At the end of announcements, we have an additional announcement from Chief.
Okay. All right, was there a motion to approve the agenda?
I move we approve the agenda as amended.
Second. Motion and second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. All right, Kelly, presentations and proclamations.
I have a legislative update from the Senator Lori Berman.
Oh, Lori's first.
Yeah,
Oh,
Lori's first.
I completely missed that. Sorry, Lori. I got this paperwork. There you go.
Oh, okay. Now it's on. Sorry. Good evening, everyone. So I was just saying we've ended so you probably heard we had our full regular session and we did not do a budget. We ended session without a budget. So we came back about a month later and we finished. And that's why this report is so late, because during that month was when I was supposed to come here and give the report to you. But now you're getting the final report, which is good because we saw some things that happened since then. And I'll talk about that a little bit in my discussion. I would say overall, it was a little bit of a less contentious session, which was great. We in the legislature finally sort of woke up and said, we are a co-equal branch of government and we're going to do the things that we need to do as a co-equal branch of government. So that was great. So some of the really good things that happened, you may remember, I guess it was only last summer that there was an announcement that they were going to start building pickleball courts at state parks and really commercializing our state parks. And there was a pretty quick outcry when that came up. And so this year we actually passed a bill saying they cannot do that. So now it is in law. So now you won't hear any more efforts along that. I mean, we all want our state parks to do well and we all want to support our state parks, but they don't need to be full of concrete. We want them to stay green spaces for everyone. We also passed a bill that I was just talking about with Commissioner Cassidy about mental health. There was a young man who was in jail who actually would. Unfortunately, right now, our jails are our number one mental health provider. In Palm Beach County, they are, and all over the state. And this young man committed suicide when he was in jail. So we passed this law allowing diversion programs for people with mental health illness so that they don't have to go to jail. And it's I'm sure you would agree that this is a great start. We need to, our jails should not be our mental health providers, and we should be helping people so that we don't have that kind of result again. Just for fun, even though you don't have a lot of children here in the district, a couple years ago, we passed a bill saying that that high schools couldn't start any earlier than 8:30. It was based on empirical data that shows that the older teenage kids need more sleep. And we really love the idea of following the empirical data. Unfortunately, when it came time to try and figure out how to get the buses to work and everything, it was just impossible. So this year we repealed that. So we did strongly suggest that all school boards look into trying to do that, do what they can so that the high schools start later. But anybody who might have been panicked about how the schedule was going to work, that has been changed. You should know that we passed. So those were some of the good things. One of the things that I found pretty troubling, we passed a law saying that no city or county can regulate anything having to do with a presidential library. So if somebody decides to build a gold tower somewhere in your district, you will not have any say about parking, about zoning. So I found that a little troubling. So we will see what happens if it comes to pass. We also made really significant changes to the Florida Citizen Initiative process. That's the process where people put something on the ballot. That's where we've had medical marijuana. That's where we've had fair districts for voting. That's where we put the provisions that people who are getting out of prisons can get their right to vote reinstated. So we made it much, much harder. And if you're going to collect signatures for that, you have to be registered. You have to have certain time frames when you turn in the information. And I found it really disappointing because I think what's going to happen is you're just not going to see as many of those citizens petitions now. And the only ones they said they don't want these big companies coming in from out of state doing it. But in reality, those are the only ones who are going to have the money to do what you need to do under the new way that it was set up, because it's going to become very expensive for somebody to be able to set up a ballot initiative now. Preemption, I always like to give you a little bit of an update on preemption. We did pass a bill 1080. It has a lot of different things about development and planning decisions, has very rigid timeframes that you're going to have to comply with. I'm sure your attorney will be updating you on things about that. We did update the Live Local Act a little bit. I don't know. It's still, a tough issue, and you guys will have to deal with that. And we also changed some of the laws about the condominiums in response to Surfside. We did do is say that you can use a loan or a line of credit to meet some of your funding reserve requirements. We know that so many condominiums are strapped and that so many homeowners in the condo owners are strapped in terms of trying to pay all those big reserves. So we're trying to make it a little easier. Not sure if it's going to have as much of a positive effect as we would like. So the budget, the one item that we have to do as the state legislature, like I said, we did not get it done in time, but we eventually did. And it's a $115 billion budget, which is about what we had last year. So it did not go up. As usual, a third of it is devoted to education, and a third is healthcare, and then the rest is all the other categories: transportation, tourism, judiciary, agriculture, general government. As you all know, we had a project for the Ocean Ridge Water Main Replacement Program for $600,000. We did get it in the budget, but unfortunately the governor vetoed it. I still think it's a project worth pursuing, and I would go back again for it for next year and just work a little bit more on the executive branch and try and set it up so that won't be as much of a problem. I like to talk a little bit about anything lighthearted that we do, which is not a lot, but there are a few things. So one of the most lighthearted, like last year, we did the strawberry shortcake bill, making it the official dessert of the state of Florida. So one of the things we talked about doing, it didn't happen, but I have a feeling it will next year, is changing the state bird. So one of the suggestions was to include a flamingo. So I think that would be really cool. Maybe it'll happen next year. It wouldn't be the only state bird, but
Is the current state bird the northern woodpecker?
it's
No, it's a mockingbird.
It's a
no,
mockingbird.
is that what it is?
Yeah, it's
I
a
can't remember.
mockingbird.
Yeah.
State bird of Florida.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the state bird is not unique to Florida. So
Yeah.
they're talking about,
A scrub jay.
the scrub jay, which is unique,
Let's do it.
and the flamingo at the same time. So we'll see if it happens
Turkey
next
buzzard.
year. That we're not talking about.
They
Sorry.
always come during this summertime, wintertime.
Right. No turkey buzzards. So it's been my honor and privilege to represent all of you. This is my last, many of you have pointed out, this is my last year in the legislature. We have term limits. I served 8 years in the House. Now I'm serving 8 years, and this will be my 8th year in the Senate. I am now the leader of the Democratic Party. So I'm going out with a bang. So anything I can do to help you all, I'm always here for you guys and happy to answer any questions.
Well, thank you, Senator Byrne.
Sure.
Any questions for Senator?
I
Byrne?
just said one. Is this money already committed or is this
25 million.
to be committed?
So that was, if you look, the 25 million,
It says you've secured 25 million.
but then if you look at the next page, can you see that? Do you have the next page?
Yeah.
With the, yes, if you look on that, that was the 25 million. And if you look,
on, it's not an opportunity.
but no, if you look next to the 25 million on the side that says amount secured in budget, there's some marks that show that we didn't get it. So these are the vetoes of the 25 million. This just because we drafted this before the vetoes. This now has the
Gotcha.
vetoes. So there was quite a significant amount. I think about a third was vetoed. But actually, a lot of people had worse vetoes, so I'm actually pretty happy that it was only a third.
One question. The My Safe Florida condo program, the change that happened kind of midstream where they required them to be 3-story
Yeah.
condos rather than 2, which, negatively impacted an applicant here in Ocean Ridge. Is there any way that might be reconsidered or changed next year? I know Troy looked into it.
I know. Yeah, we heard back from the agency, and they said we will not reconsider it. So the only way it could be reconsidered is if the legislature changed it, but I sincerely doubt if we would. I mean, it would be too much money. And also, just for everybody to know, the program opened up officially today for individuals. So if you are over 60 and low income, you are priority in the program and you can apply now.
Yeah, did you get any insight why the Ocean Ridge Water Main Replacement Program
I
was
did
shot
not.
down? Did the governor offer any reason?
I don't think so. I don't think we got any specific letter saying, well, we'll look into that and see, but I was not informed beforehand at all, which I think would be courtesy. But there's a lot of, like I said, there's a lot of vetoes here and I wasn't informed of any of them. So we'll see if there was a letter, but I don't think there is. These are usually just line item vetoes that the governor just goes
Well,
line
thank
by
you for
line.
trying.
Sure, of course. And I like I said, I think it's worth trying again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You've been a champion for Ocean Ridge, so thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Berman.
Thank you. All right. All right. Good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, Kelly, you ready for the proclamations,
Yeah.
announcements?
Did you want to do
Presentations?
Lindsay's?
I will do,
first?
yes. Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, in front of you is a certificate of commendation. We are taking on the administrative side a page from the playbook of the police department where we take the opportunity to recognize when our teammates do great things. And that's happening a lot these days. So we wanted to share with you the most recent, which is Lindsay Waters. As you know, Lindsay Winters works as our permit person in the building department. And this commendation is for creating a delightful customer experience in the town of Ocean Ridge. So I want to read it very quickly. In recognition of Lindsay's outstanding dedication to exceptional service and commitment to making every interaction with residents and applicants welcoming, efficient, and positive, Lindsay's efforts reflect the town's values and set a high standard for customer experience in municipal governance. Lindsay received a series of complimentary emails and phone calls. And so it just made sense to say thank you, not only to her face, but to bring it back to the commission and to publicly say thank you. And so we wanted to take this opportunity, and we are pleased to recognize Lindsay Winters this evening in front of you.
That's great. Yeah, I've got a lot of compliments. Thank you, Lindsay.
And as you know, Miss Jean Hallahan has retired. So we came up with a proclamation for her. This is a proclamation honoring Jean Hallahan for 20 years of outstanding service to the town of Ocean Ridge. Whereas Jean Hallahan has dedicated 2 decades of exceptional service to the town of Ocean Ridge, serving as a town treasurer, deputy town clerk, and human resources administrator, and has retired on July 28th, 2025. And whereas since beginning her service in 2005, Jean has been a cornerstone of Town Hall, a trusted voice, a steady hand, and a true public servant whose work has touched nearly every corner of our local government. And whereas in her role as deputy town clerk, she provided invaluable support in maintaining the town's official records, assisting residents with care and accuracy, and helping ensure the daily operations of the town ran smoothly. And whereas the town treasurer, Jean, has overseen the financial well-being of Ocean Ridge with diligence, transparency, and deep expertise, helping to guide the town through years of economic change with a calm, confident presence and a sharp eye for detail. And whereas wearing yet another important hat, Jean also served as the town's human resources administrator, supporting our staff with compassion, professionalism, and integrity, always advocating for fairness, open communication, and a positive work environment. And whereas her quiet leadership, reliability, and kindness have made her not only a vital member of our team, but a mentor and friend to so many throughout her 20 years of service. And whereas her well-deserved retirement is both a celebration and a heartfelt farewell, marking the close of an extraordinary chapter in Ocean Ridge history and the beginning of a new and exciting journey for her. Now, therefore, I, Jeff Pugh, the mayor of Town of Ocean Ridge, on behalf of the Town Commission and the entire Ocean Ridge community, do hereby proclaim July 28, 2025 as Jean Hallahan Appreciation Day in the Town of Ocean Ridge, and invite all residents, colleagues, and friends to join in honoring Jean's remarkable legacy of service and wishing her a future filled with joy, health, and well-earned relaxation.
Thank you. We also got her a plaque.
Nice
We're
one.
going to send her those.
Jane, thank you, Jane. Maybe she's watching.
Hopefully.
Thank you, Jean. All right, announcements, Kelly?
You wanna-
I'll defer
You wanna do
to
one?
and with my report.
Okay. The meeting schedule for the next month is as follows. The regular town commission meeting will be September 8th at 6 p.m. The town commission tentative budget hearing will be September 8th. And then I don't have it on here for some reason. The town commission final budget hearing will be on September 15th. Code enforcement hearing will be Tuesday, now August 1st at 10 a.m. All meetings are held in the commission chambers at Town Hall. Town Hall will be closed Monday, September 1st in observance of the Labor Day holiday. So it'll be September 2nd. Residents who wish to sign up to receive important town notifications and news to Civic Ready should sign up on the town's website or call Town Hall for assistance.
Thank you, Kelly. Public comment, Lucy?
Matter of fact, public comment. Lucy Brown, Harbor Drive South. My public comment has to do with extreme weather emergencies. Like we just had that horrible story in Texas where people died because the siren system wasn't working, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I started thinking, do we have a siren system? We have 2 sirens in Ocean Ridge, big, tall sirens, one just south of the inlet and one just south of Harbor Drive. So I said to myself, do they work? Has anybody ever turned them on? Do we use them when we have a tornado like we had in Delray last year? I mean, hurricanes, we know we get warning. But what about a flood? What about a tornado? What about all these horrible extreme weather? Well, so I looked it up, and it turns out those sirens are part of an emergency notification alert system from the St. Lucie nuclear plant. That's what they are. They're run by they're run by Florida Power and Light, St. Lucie County Public Safety, and Martin County Emergency Management. So when I look up to see, does Ocean Ridge, I mean, I know we use sirens when the police cars go up and down and say you have to evacuate. The cars have sirens. But do we ever use, in addition to Civic Ready, those outdoor sirens? And are they ever tested? So if you look it up, you find out there is a testing schedule for them. As a matter of fact, there are a couple of them, and they don't always match. But when they test them, they turn them on for 1 minute. And when it's real, they turn them on for 5 minutes. But it's not clear whether Ocean Ridge can have a relationship with the sirens where our law enforcement people can turn them on. Because, I mean, extreme weather is not stopping anytime soon. And I really would like to have, at minimum, I'd like to have Ocean Ridge make a public announcement of all the testing in the immediate past and in the future. So we at least know what these things sound like when we hear them. And I mean, that's what I have to say. I think it's really important. But I did want to comment on Lori Berman, who I think is great, telling us that the Palm Beach County Jail is the biggest mental health facility in Palm Beach County. I can tell you that's true.
Hey, Chief, what do you think about the sirens?
She did not.
I was going to ask the chief about the sirens.
I've never heard them. You'd have to know what the siren is for.
Has anybody heard of
Owns.
I've never heard of
I've
them.
never.
That's what
Could you look?
Has
All right.
anybody ever heard these things?
I have,
So,
Mr. Mayor.
oh yeah, because you're Port St. Lucie, didn't it?
Well, I'm in Hudson Island, yes. So my understanding is that the sirens are tested within 6 miles of the nuclear facility.
According to what I read, the sirens you can hear them within a 10-mile radius of Ocean Ridge, the two that I know we have. And they test them either on the first Friday or the first Thursday of 4 specific months. I mean, it's just
Right.
information I think we should have.
I'll get that for you. So-
Yeah.
I'll get it for you. And what they typically do is it goes off at noon, and everybody
Right.
knows up by where I'm at. They all know it's at noon, and it says, this is a test, this is a test, and then it starts and it, goes around. And so as it's moving around in 360 degrees, it echoes and echoes. And then they say, this is only a test, this is a test. And that's basically it.
Right, well, let's look into it, see what it is.
Has anyone ever heard the Ocean Ridge? They're all on A1A.
Nope.
Has any of us ever heard them at noon, or some of them they said?
Every once in a while I hear the Ocean Club's lightning thing go off. Yeah. But that's about it. But thanks, Lucy. We'll look into
I'll
it.
look into it.
Thank
I'll get it back to you.
Ag team tonight.
I told her she had to go first.
Of course, ladies first.
Cherry Brown, Harbor Drive South. What I'd like to mention is this concept that you have in your code called substantial improvement. I know this has come up before. You have 2 parts of your code that mention it. Of course, one section of the code is homes that are in floodplains. The big thing is the elevation. If they go over the 50%, basically the structure needs to be torn down and rebuilt, and you go back to plan review. And that's not been a big problem in Ocean Ridge because most of the houses that get torn down and rebuilt, you have these mountains and valleys in the town. It's a pretty horrible look. But anyway, you have a lot of big concrete boxes as a result. The other section of the code talks about plan review, does not mention floodplain. It talks about any structure that is noted in the code that exceeds the 50% threshold must go to plan review. Right? Am I right? She's shaking her head. The lawyer knows. So you have two parts of the code that mention it. This structure that's up on the dune, 5727, the Adams House, the eyesore that some people love and most people don't, and the neighbors around there would like to see it gone. But that's my opinion. This structure is now completely deteriorated to the point that they're going to have to rebuild the foundation. Structurally, the foundation is not there anymore. This is what I'm hearing. And it's going to cost millions of dollars to rebuild that structure. Someone said a permit was issued for that. For millions of dollars, that's going to exceed the 50% threshold for the value of that structure. And it should go to plan review, whatever happens. If it's rebuilt, your code said it has to go back to plan review. People need to know how it's being rebuilt, what it's going to look like. And they're not making any, as far as I can tell, any changes to the structure because it's on the same footprint. But it's not a repair. It's a rebuild. It's a renovation.
The permit says.
I don't know. You'll have to look at it. A permit has been issued, but it might have been issued before the engineer discovered that there's no foundation.
Well, they would have to go into revision. So
there you go. So it needs to go to plan review so the public knows what they're getting there. Is it going to look like a Japanese pagoda? I mean, what's the deal?
Where'd you come up with Japanese pagoda?
Well,
but I think it'd be something good to ask Mike about. I mean, because if he's doing the inspections, what are they fixing up over there?
I think they're pilings that have rotted and they're going to be replaced. And I do believe that
they're going to have to drill down into the limestone rock and put
I don't know what that, I'm just telling you what I've looked into it a little bit. And I think that that's what's happened. These old pilings, I believe, were wood, and they're going to be replaced exactly in the same location as the old ones. That's what I've been told.
The owner or the contractor should be able to give you an estimated total cost of what that's going to cost.
But the whole thing,
$7 million.
Yeah, we're getting ahead of ourselves though, because if he's got to put something in that's not on the permit, he's got to do revision. And once it comes to a revision, then the building official looks at it. And once the building official looks at it and says, hey, wait a minute, if you're putting in new pilings, you're redoing the whole structure.
That's right.
And that becomes a whole different issue. So
if it exceeds 50%, it has to go to review.
Michelle, so if you could just ask Mike to look into that and see what's going on there.
At Terry's point, Christy, correct me if I'm wrong, since it's in the dune, it has to remain within the envelope that existed.
Yes.
So
I don't, as far as I know, there's no change in the box.
Right.
Yeah. However, though, if you're rebuilding the whole box,
it is completely deteriorated and should have been removed.
Yeah, but it's been there since I was, picking up turtles with
hurricane with no storm windows. Never got hit.
Well, they were replacing the windows when they discovered that there was rot and it collapsed.
Alone. Probably lasts another 50 years.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Public comment. Hey, Betty.
I think that was built by a sea captain a long time ago, and he said it would stand, and it did.
Here's treasure.
My problem is everybody seems to be stepping on Ocean Ridge. Manalapan steals our sand. They've got 5 extra taxable lots on the ocean. We've moved the Second George out of Ocean Ridge. Then they come in and build up something that looks as if it belongs in New York City on the corner of Lantana on Ocean Avenue and A1A. You've got 5 lights there? You've got 12 lights there, 27 individual lights. Why wouldn't 3 Are people so stupid? The 3 lights can't run. And then you have signs telling people 4 times that if you turn left, you'll be going south. If you turn right, you will be going north. And the reason I'm upset about this is because they came on my property, destroyed it. They did not, I don't think you have servitudes in Florida, but you must have something else. You're at least supposed to come and request use to use the property. They have broken the town's sprinkler system. You got a great big hole unless they fix it in one place. They tore my sprinkler system out. And when I asked them if they were going to replace the Zoyser and fix this, they said, that's not their problem. That's my job. And I'm a little upset.
As you should be, Betty. Thank you. Anyone else for public comment? All right, closing public comment, bring it back to commission. Approval of consent agenda. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve consent agenda as is.
There's a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. All right, moving on to our budget discussion agenda items.
Mr. Mayor, item 13, our town engineer, Lisa Trepepi, will provide a brief presentation on the prioritized capital improvement projects that her company Ingenuity Group will be working on in the fiscal year 2026. Lisa will also be asking for confirmation of each project as she reviews it. So you have that form in front of you about the review of the motions that may be asked to follow. It's really a bit of housekeeping at this point. We wanted to make sure that you had an opportunity to see it for budgeting purposes. Additionally, for the public's edification, I want to make sure I mention and thank the commission for spending 2 hours, and some of you more than 2 hours, prepping for this meeting with myself and with the town engineer and with the town attorney, going through all the information for next year's budget on these capital plans. So this is a brief presentation compared to what you all sat through and went through and asked your questions. So thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. You have before you the PowerPoint that we went through with each of you, as Michelle has just stated. I promise I will be brief and skip past the things that are not capital projects, because there are 3 that, like Michelle has stated, is basically housekeeping issues, but we'd like to respectfully request a motion for each of those 3. So
All right.
let's just get
Why
to
don't
it.
Why don't we start with the first one,
Okay.
which is the
Okay. So,
Harbor Drive North one. And
okay. So skip. Okay. Harbor Drive project. That's the first one. So for those of you that have been here, that were on the dais in 2022, this project has already been approved. We've had some challenges, and the biggest challenge was to receive an easement, 2 easements, drainage easements for an outfall.
Can I interrupt you? Please?
This is how we start long conversations. But yes, Mayor, you can always interrupt me.
Because I don't mean that, but we've gone over this item. I mean, month after month after month. I mean, we are well versed on how it got here, where we're at.
Okay.
So why don't we do this? On the first one, Harbor Drive North,
Yes.
are there any questions for Lisa regarding this motion? There are none. So would anybody like to make a motion?
I move to.
Oh, you're going to do
It's
it?
your street. You do it.
All right. So I have 3 possible motions here. I'm going to,
No, just the Harbor Drive North one.
You can read number 1.
Right.
Yeah.
Number 1.
okay. I move to continue with Ingenuity Group for completion of the Harbor Drive North project from 2022 for an already budgeted not to exceed amount of $25,000.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? Public comment? Thank you, Terry. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Now moving on to number 2.
Number 2 is in reference to the Hudson Avenue Seawall project. Again, that was another project that's been discussed
Right.
before you. Okay. So
So again,
go ahead.
let's do it this way. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Lisa?
I'm
regarding
going to slow you down.
Yeah.
What happened to the living seawall? I kind of love that idea. No one seems.
No.
Kind of
I
keen on it.
was just communicating with her this week.
Yeah.
Lisa Burgess, who made the presentation, and they are very actively seeking permitting through the Army Corps in Mississippi. I shared that with Michelle. They don't have their Army Corps permits yet, but it's moving along at a good pace. My question would be, could we simultaneously move forward with the design for a traditional seawall while also paying attention to what's happening there, not ruling that out?
That's a question.
That's a question, and that's your prerogative. Because of the fact that time is of the essence, that we can, if we continue to wait, we continue to increase the amount of vegetation that continues to grow on that existing riprap head wall. We have continual issues on Hudson. King tides are coming back this fall and spring, and so staff has recommended that we move forward with a traditional seawall. That does not mean that staff cannot continue to investigate or look at a living seawall. But we'd like to come back with a design build proposal to pursue a traditional seawall.
So you'll know the answer to this perhaps. As we move forward with a traditional seawall, it's not costing us any money to tell the living seawall people, please keep doing your thing.
They're not retained by us yet,
Right.
so they're not working for us yet, but we're paying attention to what they're doing elsewhere.
Right.
Which is the problem, my
Yeah.
personal opinion,
I don't know.
is that they haven't done anything in the state of Florida. But I personally don't want to risk Ocean Ridge's money on a project that is not proven
In
Right.
Florida.
in Florida. So my opinion is that we stick with the seawall. King tides are coming up. We get the price. Not to say that if they want to look into the Army Corps permit, but if it's your house, yeah, go for the living seawall. But it's not. It's the end of Hudson. We're only talking about, is it 50 feet?
60.
Well, it's a 60-foot right of way, but we'd have to extend it to close the gap to the two seawalls
And
on
the
the
two-
two private properties that have already
Seawall.
paid
Or
for their
brand-
seawalls. Yes,
Regular seawalls.
correct.
So if we put a regular seawall there, now we're make a
I
continuing
get it.
seawall.
I get it. I think if I remember correctly, the regular seawall was 850 and the living seawall was 500, right?
Well, we don't know the exact cost of a living seawall, and we don't exactly know the exact cost of a traditional seawall. However, we have more,
Well, we know the living
We-
is 500.
And we don't know the
We
cost
don't
of the
know.
Army Corps permit.
we don't know the cost of the Army Corps permit or if we can even get one.
If they don't have a permit, we don't know. How could you possibly know how much it is if they've never
I
got
would go with the group, but I just think this was an opportunity. Perhaps this isn't the opportunity to do it, where we could have held hands with a new science, a new technology, and got some kudos for it. But I would definitely go with the traditional seawall. But I certainly hope that group comes back to us at a later date. It's a fascinating concept.
Well, it's really what you put on is breakwaters out in the ocean. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, to the point of this particular seawall, I mean, does anybody want to make a motion regarding number 2?
I'd like to move that we move forward with the traditional seawall because of all the issues around the living seawall.
A second.
All right, is there any more discussion? How about public comment?
Could I ask, what's going to happen to the catchment area? Is that going to be in the middle where it is now? Is there going to be a catch basin there for the excess water when it builds up on this street? Or are you just going to have a seawall? Okay, okay, that's okay. And that mechanically will work with the new seawall.
Not like the one now?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Where you going? So where you going with that, Terry?
So,
All right, you're not done, right? So, all right, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Now moving on to the third one.
The third one is with respect to phase 2 of the water distribution improvements. As you heard from Senator Berman, she has suggested that we go back again next legislative session. And I feel like we came so close. We need to, my recommendation is that we pursue it again, and we pursue it as phase 2 altogether and allow us to finish the job, finish the design, permit it. Let's get it out to bid as we traditionally do: design, bid, build. for phase two. And at the same time, go back to the legislature.
I think we learned a lot this year,
I
and
think so.
he was hugely supportive, and we did meet with the governor's office one time. I think we're going to have to try to find more inroads there and find other legislators who have a more collaborative relationship with the governor's office than Senator Berman did. She made that point.
And she made that point herself too.
I was introduced to a lot of people this year by our lobbyist, and I feel like we can formulate a better, stronger plan in a hopefully a little bit different.
We're counting on you.
Sorry?
We're counting on you.
No one was more disappointed than I was.
Oh, you did everything right.
You did a great job. I'm just saying. Okay, so
So there's a third
Is there any-
recommendation.
any questions?
We already discussed this last meeting, decided to go in this direction.
Correct.
Yeah. All right, so I move to continue with Ingenuity Group for phase 2 permitting / design phases and have staff pursue a legislative appropriation request for all of the phase 2 for 2025/26 legislative session.
Second.
Okay, motion is second. Public comment. Okay, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank
There
you,
you
Lisa.
go. Thank you, Mayor. I enjoyed that assistance. Have a great night.
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Great job.
All right.
Next up is item 14, which is phase 4 of the water main infrastructure. Again, more modernization of your water pipes. The town is moving forward with phase 4 of the water main capital plan. It's the modernization of the water pipe along North Ocean Boulevard, State Road A1A from Ocean Avenue to Thompson Street. This section of the system has experienced significantly reduced pressure, thereby diminishing hydrant performance and fire protection capabilities. Thank you. As a result of that information that we received during the June 2nd, 2025 meeting, the commission provided direction to pursue procurement and bypass the traditional CCNA process under the emergency exemption in accordance with the applicable Florida statutes. After careful consideration, your staff recommends the selection of Johnson Davis Incorporated as the lead design build contractor for phase 4 modernization of the water main. For your information tonight, I've asked the company to make a small presentation, and they know to keep it brief because the commission enjoys a brief presentation. And so in front of you is Clark Cryer. If you could raise your hand, Clark. He's the vice president of Johnson Davis Incorporated, and also Caesar Carrillo, which is the project manager that would be dealing with our phase 4.
So you're doing a hot seat, right?
Good evening, and thank you guys for having us. Appreciate your time. This is Caesar Clark Cryer with Johnson Davis. Michelle kind of met with us and kind of proposed what you guys are doing as far as your water improvements. We're very familiar with both Ocean Ridge as well as the city of Boynton Beach. We have held their emergency contract for over 5 years and done a lot of work for them. That contract has been piggybacked by West Palm, Del Rey, Boca, Town of Jupiter, among others. As far as Johnson Davis goes, we were founded in 1977. We are in our 3rd generation of a family business, but we say family because our company, everyone that works for us is a family. We've got 16 mainline crews. We've got a total of 185 people. We are probably the largest open cut wet utility contractor in the state when it comes down to that, where we solely just do wet utility work. We own all of our equipment. We're based out of Lantana, right there off 8th Street, where they're doing all the new developments, where the old medical facilities were.
HG Holly.
Yeah, right next to the Holly House, the whole hill house.
Exactly. So we are a local neighbor, very familiar with the area, and we've done lots of work in this area. So if you guys have any questions for us, we work with Seacoast Utility Authority, their design build contract. They're one of the most stringent utility authorities in the area. A lot of people like to model after them, and we're one of their favorite contractors. We actually, not only do we hold the design build contract for them, but we also have their emergency services and unit price contract as well.
Great. So this is not new to you, this project.
No, and I will be the first to say I apologize for the construction, but we're trying to get ourselves out of the way. We're also up there at Ocean Avenue, doing their force main work for Manal.
All right, is there any questions for Dawson Davis?
I was gonna say, and on this one, we're partnering with Holtz. You can click that slide right there. These are just letters of commendation. We received another one. Just last week, I included that in our periodical, which is our company semi-annual magazine we put out, the Pipeline Connection.
Great.
Holtz, if you guys are not familiar with them, they're a great engineer that we've worked with. We've worked with Ingenuity, Mock Roos, Holtz, Chenmore. If they're an engineer you recognize in the utilities, we've worked with them.
Thank you.
So,
Mr. Mayor, as you know, phase 4 is different from phase 1 and 2 because it is a design build and we're looking to expedite the process because of the emergent issue. And so this is why we're doing design build here. And that's why they're moving forward with that partnership. And we appreciate the fact that they can turn this around as quickly as they can. One of the other things this company is offering is a great communication system. They're bringing their communication team here. So understanding that there may be hiccups along the way as construction things happen, and the town will not be burdened with having to continuously communicate. They will make sure that communication gets out as well.
absolutely.
To our residents.
And other projects that we've done in the area, north-south roads in Boynton, right there. We did that whole streetscape area for their stormwater, and we did a new water main in there as well. So again, we do a lot of work.
There we see your trucks all over the place.
Hopefully they're clean.
All right, is there a motion?
Better be.
Does anybody make a motion?
It's a long one.
It's a long one. I wanted to.
Right, I'll do it. I move to authorize the town manager to enter into a contract with Johnson Davis Inc. for design build services for the A1A Water Main Phase 4 project with Holtz Consulting Engineers as the design subconsultant in an amount not to exceed 1.9 million with the consideration of future potential change orders unless further approved by the commission. This action is taken in response to a documented emergency condition and consistent with the authority provided at the June 2nd, 2025 commission meeting.
Second.
Motion is second. Public comment? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Thank you, guys.
Thank you guys very much for your time. Have a good evening.
Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, on to item 15, the police beach low-speed vehicle side-by-side. The police department is requesting commission approval to add to the capital improvement plan for fiscal budget year 2026, the purchase of a new side-by-side off-road vehicle. To help offset the purchase costs, the department proposes to trade in an older ATV and the current side-by-side vehicle. The addition of a new vehicle will ensure the continued reliability and safety of the department's off-road responsibilities and capabilities, and staff recommends approval. Now, this is not an approval for the purchase. This is an approval to put it on the capital improvement plan for next year's budget, because the last time we had the capital improvement plan in front of you, it was all infrastructure. And so now we're going to start to add some of the smaller pieces that are over $5,000.
So why is it on the capital improvement and not on like the police?
Capital
budget or-
asset.
What's that?
It's a capital asset that needs to be called out for the budget purposes.
Okay.
So it's just a movement.
Yeah.
It's just letting us know that we can put it into the budget. Everything else we've got set up for your budget. So now I'm tweaking it. And this will allow me to add it back to what we already had put in front of you.
Do you need a motion for that?
Nope,
Just
actually,
consensus?
yeah, on this one. Is that okay?
That's great.
Yeah.
All right, great. All right, item 17, the police department is requesting commission approval to add to the capital improvement plan for fiscal year 2026, the purchase of a fully equipped police patrol vehicle at an estimated cost of $70,000. Staff intends to conclude the lease early of additional vehicles that are already in fleet on a portion of the fleet, up to 5 of them. This new vehicle will allow for enhanced operational readiness and support the department's commitment to prudent fiscal management. And staff recommends adding this to the budget plan.
Any questions? All right. Next.
Item 18, the police department requests commission approval to include the acquisition and implementation of a new public safety software suite in the town's fiscal year 2026 capital improvement plan. The proposed system includes computer-aided design or dispatch, could be complete computer-aided dispatch. That's a different thing than computer-aided design, sorry. Mobile CAD and a records management system, all integrated on a cloud hybrid platform. This solution is designed to streamline public safety operations, reduce redundancies, and improve officer efficiency, and staff recommends adding this to the list of capital items.
All right, now, Chief, I want you to explain what you explained to me regarding why this is important.
It's the heartbeat of how we operate.
And the reason why would
We have two different independent, a small company now that is our CAD system. And then we have another company that provides our RMS section. They don't talk to one another. I'm afraid we're working with Manalapan, and I'm afraid if this company goes defunct, then we're going to be holding the bag without, a system. I'm trying to just upgrade the system where everything works together and integrates, and we have something that will last us well into the future.
Okay, and this company, what we're doing now is basically what everybody else uses, in other words.
Well, this quote that I have here is Motorola. That is what a lot of people are using. I'm waiting for one more quote from Oracle, which will happen at the end of the month. And we're working in conjunction with Manalapan. They have the same software that we have, and we're both trying to upgrade our systems.
Can I give a little legislative background here? So when I was in Tallahassee in March, it came up, there was a Representative Danny Alvarez who was pushing very hard to get rid of local dispatch. He wanted that to be part of the legislative process this year. And there was a lot of pushback on that. And at the time, the chief and the head dispatcher, Courtney, and I got on a call with our lobbyist and talked about the importance of interoperability. And I think the whole push to get rid of local dispatch and go to the county was a result of Parkland. So he was kind of motivated by people who felt strongly that there were too many levels of communication at that time, and it broke down. So the emphasis is on interoperability, and we value very much our own local dispatch. And so we are trying to do whatever we can to be in a position where if municipalities are being evaluated as to your interoperability and your efficiency, will be okay and not be forced to go with the county.
So
in a nutshell,
it begs the question, will this be okay in 4 years, 5 years?
Yes, sir. Yeah. I'm looking at these larger companies to put us well into the future with the, the company that we've had for the past, I would say 7, 8 years, but it's a small company, and they don't integrate with one another.
All right, is there a motion?
Don't need a motion.
You don't need a motion, it's going to be
No,
approved?
sir. Yeah, if it's okay for us to add it to the CIP, you'll make that final motion in September when we
All right.
put it in front of you. And it may be a different name, Bryn, as the chief
Right.
has mentioned, because he's checking out different, but it's not to exceed the amount that you have in front of you there. It's a placeholder in essence.
Thank you,
Okay.
Chief. Thank you, Michelle.
Thanks.
Thank you. All right, moving on to item 18, it's approval of ordinance 2025 on second reading. And I'll defer to our planner.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioners. Corey O'Gorman, Town Planner. I'm joined by Jim Fleischman from Land Research Management, and we're here to provide you with an update on the comprehensive plan and recommending approval of the amendments to the plan by second reading. And a brief refresh, if you will. As you all know, the Florida statutes require an updated comprehensive plan every 7 years. And in 2024, the town received notification from the state that it was required to update the plan. We provided them with the evaluation and appraisal notification letter, and the state responded. Accordingly, since then, we've gone through a process of reviewing the plan with the town staff, making recommended changes, also going to the Planning and Zoning Board in public hearings, as well as an adoption in January. The Planning and Zoning Board saw it 3 times, plus a workshop. And of course, the town commission heard the item in first reading in March and approved transmittal of the amendments of the comprehensive plan to the state. The state has several review entities, including the Regional Planning Council, as well as state departments like the Florida Department of Transportation. The process with the state review is that they review the comprehensive plan and they will either make comments or identify objections. Comments are advisory. Objections have to be addressed. We received 4 comments from the state and some of the review agencies regarding the 5-year capital improvement plan, sewer feasibility, updating a name of the Florida Department of Commerce, and objectives regarding historic preservation. So there were no issues that were identified, objections identified by the state or the other review agencies. So the plan can be adopted without addressing any of those comments. There were several comments that were made by Commissioner Cassidy. Thank you very much for those comments. And those should be included in the adoption of the plan if the commission decides to adopt it this evening. Those revisions include in a comment from Commissioner Cassidy on the 5-year capital improvement plan, we realized that objective 1.6 was dropped out of the document somehow. It was just an error in the preparation of the document. That should be included. And objective 1.6 reads that the town shall adopt a capital improvement program covering at least 5 fiscal years and shall adopt a capital budget on an annual basis as part of the town's budgeting process. And I would reference page 9-5 in the comprehensive plan. Commissioner also pointed out an item that was mentioned at the first reading, which is regarding the water supply plan. And the language should read that the agreement will continue until it's terminated by the agreement of both parties rather than terminated by either party. So the language in your motion should reflect that the agreement will continue until it is terminated by the agreement of both parties, if that's the pleasure of the commission. And the last item was regarding objective 2.1 in the coastal management element, that the element talks about the coastal construction control line, but there are actually 2 lines that are identified in the town's comprehensive plan and land development regulations. So recommending that objective 2.1 would be revised to read, quote, as illustrated on map 5 and east of the 1997 coastal construction control line illustrated on map 6, close quotes. So that would be an addition of 1997 to the coastal construction control line. Also would point out that there was, since the first reading, there was a very minor change to the future land use map 1 on page 1-9. It was pointed out by the town attorney. There were several very small parcels that should have been identified as preservation conservation in some of the parcels that are in the area nearby town hall. That being said, the comprehensive plan that's in your agenda packet, we're recommending approval on second reading. If you do approve it on second reading with the changes that I've mentioned from both Commissioner Cassidy and the town attorney, we would package that as required by the Florida statutes and transmit a final version of that to the state of Florida. And that concludes my presentation. Happy to answer any questions. And again, Jim Fleischman from Land Research Management is also here if we can answer any questions. This is by the way, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor. This is, by the way, the same document that you saw at first reading with those few changes that I mentioned.
Thank you, Corey. And thank you, Commissioner Cassidy, catching all those spots.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that was You read every word, every line. Are you an attorney?
I
thought
do, no. I assume we're supposed to read it.
Yeah, well, when you read it, reread it.
I read it. I missed it. So
Yeah. Okay.
So
Was there a motion?
not to drag this out, but you will know the answer to this because I'm fuzzy on it. When we had the 97 versus the 76 line, remember that?
It's 79 and 97, yeah.
Right. And 97 was less restrictive than.
No, 97 is more restrictive.
But we went back.
Anything east of that, DEP has to get involved, but anything east of 79, that is now our setback line.
Okay. That just
For the
makes
coastal
sure
properties, yeah.
this
So
This doesn't, this,
agrees with what we decided way back when we did
yes,
that.
this is the more general thing on, on which our ordinances overlay.
I mean, if we don't go to 79, we're in trouble.
What?
I say, I think the town would have trouble if we didn't follow the 79 line. A lot of trouble.
Is there a motion?
Okay, Christy, how do I read this? Do I say I approve? And you want me to go through all of those changes?
I don't think so. I think they're clearly stated on the record. I think you just do a motion to approve based on the changes that were mentioned by the town planner.
Okay. I move to approve ordinance 2025-01 on second reading, subject to the changes that the town planner just outlined, and adopt the year as is.
Second.
Motion is second. Any other discussion?
Mr. Mayor, we do need to read the ordinance by title.
Kelly?
Approval of ordinance 2025-01 on second reading, an ordinance of the town of Ocean Ridge, Florida, amending the comprehensive plan of the town of Ocean Ridge with the 2025 evaluation and appraisal report, the year, base amendments, providing for recitals, adoption, conflicts, repeal, severability, applicability, transmittal, and an effective date.
All right, public comment. All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Jim.
Carolyn.
Moving on to regular agenda items. Kelly?
Okay, we have the approval of ordinance 2025-04 on first reading. It's an ordinance of the town of Ocean Ridge, Florida, amending the code of ordinances at chapter 2, administration, article 6, finance, division 1, purchasing code by increasing the town manager's purchasing authority from 10,000 to 25,000, by updating, clarifying, and deleting certain purchasing provisions, by adding provisions for protests, the acquisition of real property, and settlement authority of claims, and providing for conflict, severability, codification, and an effective date.
Okay, Michelle? Or Christie?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. So this proposed ordinance is to update the town manager's approval authority of purchases. So this would increase her authority up to 25,000. That means the operational day-to-day purchasing would not have to come before the town commission as it does currently for anything that exceeds $10,000. This also updates and make sure really purchasing code more efficient in terms of taking out some of the detail, putting it into your adopted policy, addressing things that aren't currently addressed in your purchasing code, including the protests, the timeframes for that, dealing with competitive bidding, the acquisition of real property, and the settlement authority for lawsuits and claims. And again, that settlement authority is consistent with what would be the town manager's new purchasing authority of $25,000. This does not mean that the town manager will not keep you aware of items that are being purchased or settlement or claims that are being, resolved. It just gives her that authority so we don't have to add it on to the commission agenda and bring it forward. Obviously, anything that's above 25,000 would need to come to the city commission for approval.
All righty. Any questions?
Just one thing, the public should be aware. If we got a rogue town manager, she can't just write a check for $24,000, $25,000. There's an approval process where there's double signatures, et cetera. That's it.
Ain't one of them a commissioner?
Commissioner, I think.
So you'd have big cahoots with her, right? You get 12.5?
Didn't think of that.
All right, so is there a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2025-04 which gives the town manager purchasing authority up to $25,000 per item.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. Public comment.
Terry Brown Harbor Drive. This is so overdue. I mean, you can't imagine the frustration that the residents have when we had a town manager that was so intimidated by the commission that he wouldn't even buy a roll of toilet paper without coming in here asking for that approval. So having confidence in a professional manager is absolutely overdue and well deserved. And you'll find out if she's a rogue manager, because she's going to be giving you a list every month of what she's done. So this is really a good thing. Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Anyone else? All right, back to the commission. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, approval of the replat. Kelly?
Excuse me, we have the approval of the replat for 92 and 93 Island Drive South and resolution 2025-14, which is the termination and release of easement from the 93 Island Drive South. It's a resolution of the Town Commission of the Town of Ocean Ridge, Florida, approving the termination and release of easement at 92 Island Drive South in exchange for a new easement by replat and providing for execution, directions, and recording and an effective date.
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So 9293 Island Drive South was originally 2 parcels. They were currently consist of 1 house on 1 parcel, and they're going to be redeveloped. The replat that is before you is to change the size of the lot, make 1 lot a little bit bigger and 1 lot a little bit smaller. So that forces them to do a replat. I should let you know that this is going to be the last plat or replat that comes before the town commission, because the world of plats and replats have been preempted to the state. So actually, as of July 1st of 2025, they are now requiring a administrative approval process. So we will be coming back to you in short order. We don't have any other plats or replats that are currently in the queue, but we'll be coming back to address that issue at another town commission meeting. This one was already scheduled. So instead of putting it on the back burner till we could get an ordinance or resolution to address the administrative process, we decided to go ahead and move forward with it tonight. Therefore, there is no resolution in the backup. Quite frankly, you're acting as the administrative approval authority tonight, should you decide to approve it. This did go to the Planning and Zoning Board for review for the development plan review, and it was approved 5-0. I believe it was 5-0. And so now the plat's before you, along with the termination and release of an easement. On the new replat, they have identified a new easement location for the water meter and facilities. So we're terminating the old easement, and now by plat, we'll have a new easement.
Great. Okay, is there a motion?
In the motion, does it have to say both 13 and 14? In other words, the termination and the...
Yes, it's to approve both of them in the same vote.
Let me make that. All right. I move to approve the replat as presented that was previously approved by the Planning and Zoning Board. These are resolutions number 2025-13 and the termination, which is resolution 2025-14.
Your Honor, just one clarification. There's no resolution for the replat. So 2025-13 has been deleted, but it is just a motion to approve.
Okay.
Thank you.
Second.
Motion and second. Any other discussion? Public comment?
Christie's explanation is pretty clear, but my question is on you just did a unification a couple of meetings ago. So that requires a replat. Is that correct? A new drawing, a replat. It's 2 lots into 1. So is that affected by this new?
No, that was for another property, and they were unifying 2 small parcels so they could build a house across both parcels.
Right.
Then they have to do the unity of title.
My question is, does that require a drawing of the plat, a redrawing?
No, it does not.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, sir. Any other public comment? All right, hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Congratulations. Michelle, you're up.
Mr. Mayor, Commissioners, I have no update other than what I provided you in the backup information.
Any questions for Michelle?
You didn't want to talk about the grant?
I was leaving that to you, but if you'd like me, I can.
Go ahead.
Okay, well then let me get to it. As many of all the commissioners know, because they were notified, we are excited about the fact that the Division of Emergency Management has awarded the town the $250,000 HLMP award, and it's a grant to start to harden Town Hall. So replacing all the windows, replacing the doors, and replacing the roof. And so congratulations, big congratulations should go to Commissioner Cassidy for her long work on trying to pursue this since 2023, I think, 2023. And so the money is actually, we don't even have to wait for the money. It's actually such a great grant that they said we can already start bidding and getting the work in line. So we have the doors scheduled and the windows, we're getting our second quote. And so we hope to be in construction here before the end of the year. But that's a bill that was about 590,000 cut by 250,000. So well done.
Maybe we should get you a plaque. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good work. I mean,
Not done yet.
really, really good. Thank you, Michelle.
Yes.
Christy?
Tonight, I just want to mention a couple things regarding the recent legislation on preemption. We talked about plats and replats, so you'll be seeing more than likely an ordinance coming before you to address that as an administrative process. Another preemption that will impact the town is they preempted the area of synthetic turf or artificial turf for a single family residence of an acre or less. FDEP, Florida Department of Environmental Protection, is now in charge in creating regulations. They are in the process of creating those rules, and they're having actually a rules workshop tomorrow. The current proposed rules does not address a limitation on how much artificial turf or synthetic turf you can have on your property. It primarily addresses the material, type of use, how you install it, the positive drainage requirements you have to have. So we're going to keep an eye on it. For right now, the town's current artificial turf rules will remain in place unless the commission decides otherwise. Once DEP passes its regulations, then the town will have to follow those DEP regulations. So we'll have to look at how those final regulations compare to our code. And if we need to make any changes, we'll bring those forward.
Is there any time?
No, and this law went into effect, July 1st, 2025. So I think FDEP is working as quickly as it can to adopt some rules. So we'll be coming forward with more information on that. And one of the other areas that has been preempted, and Mr. Brown brought it up, substantial improvement threshold. As you may recall, we went through a ordinance to address some floodplain issues with some of the new FEMA regulations, and we tweaked our substantial improvement threshold. And if you recall, historically, we had a 5-year look back. So this year, we sort of relaxed that and went to a 2-year look back. The state has preempted this area, and now there is no look back. So we will be having to come forward with an ordinance to address that in our code as well. There's some other preemptions that we're keeping an eye on and looking at our code and things we've done in the past and things we might do in the future to see if we need to make some other pivots in our direction. But we'll come forward with those when we need to.
And didn't we also change substantial improvement? So we're not to be included in that are hardening things like roofs,
yes,
windows, doors,
and that's an
excellent.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, because one thing that, obviously this type of ordinance tweaks goes through planning and zoning because it's in our land development code and then comes before the commission is, do you want to keep those? Since now there's no look back, one of the thought processes to reducing those hardening things was to sort of reduce the cost if you needed to do things that really were required. Whether or not you want to keep those things in your code remains to be seen. So. Okay.
Thank you.
That's it. Thank you. You're welcome.
Chief?
Yes, sir. My June report is in your packet. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. I know that 8-hour report to traffic stops every month. They had 474 traffic stops and 4 felony arrests and 7 misdemeanor arrests for the month. If everybody's not aware, we had a shooting here in Ocean Ridge on July 11th. It was a drive-by shooting at a house. To make a long story long, investigation short, after reviewing private security footage tied to our tag readers and our static cameras, we were able to identify a suspect. We put that information into a BOLO, which went out countywide. He was stopped 6 hours after we put that BOLO out. Our officers, everybody pretty much had a hand in it, the whole department. We applied for several search warrants because we seized his car. It was brought back here where we applied for a search warrant. We found the weapon that he used and a ledger. The weapon was tied to the casings, not only here, but in 17 other shootings within the county. So they did a big press release on Thursday. They're labeling him as a serial shooter. I think he's up to 20. He's shot at occupied homes, unoccupied homes, businesses, car dealerships. So he was arrested last Thursday after all the probable cause and evidence went through, and he's sitting in the county jail now. So I know Lieutenant Chauvin's back there and Officer Deb, they had a big part in all of it. And I'm just proud of all the officers and the work. And he had 10, we found in the ledger, he had 10 more homes, targets that he intended to carry out. And the ones he already did, they were marked off. So we're talented with, pretty much we saved lives by catching this guy, and he's off. It was a really good case. So I'm proud of everybody.
Thank you.
Well done.
Do we have a motive?
It has come out in one of the articles that it's past people he's had maybe schoolmates, relationships with, but I mean, he shut up a BJ, so I don't know. A wholesale store. He shut up a car dealership. So,
Wow.
Thank you, Chief.
Yeah, it's good.
Thank you.
Steve?
Well done.
Oh, Commissioner comments. One of them was artificial turf, but I'm going to hold that off. My point was the 10-year sunset. Remember that? But we don't have to worry about that. Coconuts. Residents called me this week because there's some enforcement going on cutting the coconuts before hurricane season. We put that ordinance in abeyance with a note that we'd get back to it, Christie, and we never go back to it. The idea was that we wanted to cancel it and replace it with something that said coconuts, a potential public safety hazard. So do we need to go revisit our coconut ordinance, rewrite it, and then bring it forth? And in the meantime, if you happen to get a straight letter or an enforcement officer approaches you, there's been a communications. Well, I think it's been corrected now. Some of the code enforcement people were telling you had to cut down your coconuts before hurricane season, but that's actually accurate per the ordinance, but not accurate per what the commission decided last year. So don't worry about it. And the only other thing, which is more from Michelle, and maybe some of the people involved in this are here. I found out last week that we have various condos with HOAs around town. So what I simply ask is that we have a list that the town manager and the town clerk have, which says who's the president of these various condominiums. I couldn't believe it when I was trying to get in touch with the president of a condo down by me. No one knew who the president was, and there was no phone number. So if something occurs at one of these complexes, you know the right person to call.
Makes sense.
So I don't know if you guys can just, you probably need some civil help on this, right?
I think we have a list, and it just probably needs to be refined. We don't have anything? Oh, well, then we'll jump on it. That makes a lot of sense. I had no idea that we didn't have this.
I didn't either.
I apologize about that.
So if there's somebody here who happens to be a president of a condominium, maybe you could speak with Kelly or Michelle afterwards and give me contacts. There's no list.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they changed so much, almost have to do it on a regular basis to get that list.
And maybe the HOAs would get inspired and realize they should alert when
they should let us know what changed.
Well, Mayor, one of the reasons that's important for us to know is because our NPDES program we're supposed to be working with the HOAs to encourage the private property owners to take care of their own drainage. So it's part of that program that we should have that list.
All right.
Yeah. So we'll make sure it gets put together.
Thank you. Well, the only thing I wanted to bring up was about the chief and this shooter, because they really didn't give Ocean Ridge Police Department the credit that they should have. I mean, it's a testament to the Ocean Ridge Police Department and their attention to detail and their attention to duty to the town of Ocean Ridge. It's a true testament to the town. I want to thank you, Chief. But it's also, you got to remember, it's a testament to the citizens of Ocean Ridge, because we're the ones that allow the commission to invest in our town police department. And that's why we have our own town policeman department. And that's why it's so important. So kudos to all of us for investing in it over all these years and creating a quality organization like you have, Chief. And we just want to say thank you.
All right, thank you.
Keep it up. All right. Is there anything else? I guess that's it. We'll see you September. Isn't that a song? See you September.
I don't know.
All right. You can use 20 minutes.